Hello and welcome, Mark here, and in this episode we're going to crochet up the crunch stitch. Isn't that lovely? This creates a solid fabric. It's a lot more of a solid fabric, and it's also reversible. So isn't that lovely? So it's not only is it a solid stitch, but it's reversible, so it doesn't matter which side you're looking at, because there is no right and wrong side to this pattern. So, but this is a multiple of 2, but when you make your foundation chain you need to add one more chain, so you need an odd number for your foundation chain. The stitch pattern, as I say, this pattern uses a half treble and a slip stitch. Remember, I do use UK terminology, so if you're outside the UK, this is normally known as a half double, and the slip stitch is still a slip stitch. There you go, nothing different there. And it's also a one row repeat. That's probably why as well makes it a double-sided piece. So what could you use this stitch for? Right, you could use this for washcloths and dishcloths if you decide to use it out of cotton, because it has that such a lovely bubbly effect. It would be great for that. You can also use it for hats, scarves. Don't think it'd be anything else for that. Yeah, hats, scarves, mittens, or fingerless gloves, to say, and washcloths or dishcloths and things like that for this. I think that's all I need to say about this. So let's get crafting, shall we? Right, okay, as you can see, I already have some chains on and ready to go. I have 15 chains here, so that gives me my multiple of 2 plus 1, so I have an odd number. And the foundation row is work a half treble into that second chain from the hook, so we work a half treble. Just want to go through today. And then into the next stitch, so say the next chain, we work a slip stitch. Now it is important to make these slip stitches loose, because you're going to be working into them. So we repeat that again then. Half treble into the next chain, and a slip stitch into the chain after that. And you just repeat that until the end of the row. Half treble into the next stitch, a slip stitch into the stitch after that. And you just repeat those over and over to the end of the row. So I shall just finish this up, and I shall be back with you in a moment. And there we go, we just have one chain left, and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss this out, and you do end the row with a slip stitch into that last chain. There you go, and that completes the foundation row. Now for row 1, or should we just say for the pattern row, we just chain 1 and turn, or turn and chain 1, and then we're just going to repeat what we did for the foundation row. We're going to make a half treble into the first stitch, which is your slip stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of your half treble, and we're just going to repeat that now. So it's a half treble into the slip stitch, and then a slip stitch into the top of the half treble, and that is the pattern for this. That's why it's important to have those slip stitches loose, because you're going to be working into them. You're going to be working a half treble. And you just repeat those sequence all the way to the end of the row. I nearly did a DC then. So I've just done a slip stitch there. There's a half treble, and then a slip stitch, I'm wanting to wrap yarn over there, aren't I? Half treble into the slip stitch, and then of course you end the row again with a slip stitch into the last stitch. You missed a turning chain because you don't work into that. It doesn't count as a stitch at all. And there you are. And that is the crunch stitch. So I'll just repeat that one more time. So we chain one. We work a half treble into the first stitch, which is a slip stitch from the row below. Then you work a slip stitch into the top of your half treble, and that's the repeat. The half treble into your slip stitch into your half treble. And just remember that sequence, and you're away. And it's quite a, I wouldn't say a quick stitch to work up, but you can get across the row pretty quickly. Because you're using slip stitches, it does tend to take a little bit longer to work up. Almost at the end of the row there now. And of course we end the row with a slip stitch. And there we go. And we chain one and turn, or turn and chain one. And there you go. That's how you get the effect. And you get it, the effect on both sides of the row. So isn't that fabulous? I think it's a lovely little stitch this. So this is the crunch stitch. Have a go and see what you can make out of it. Make a sample up, have a go, see what you can think of. I'm sure all you creative people out there can think of lots of things to do with this stitch. Right. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, subscribe. And until next time here on Mark Makes Stitches, bye.